Okay, today's episode, not really an episode, but today's episode is called Mass Groups That Get Together to Try to Make People Look Like Violent Paranoid Schizos and Play Victim while trying to make it look like they suffer from mental illness while saying, oh poor me, my life's in danger, like my father and my brother and so many others with their worldwide groups. Hence, Jason's showing me so many horror movies, and Jason's showing me Mad TV, Davey and Goliath episodes about David Berkowitz, and hinting that I'm a crazy, violent, paranoid schizo, and my father saying I know what I did, trying to make it look like I'm going after them. And of course, it switches from woman to woman and person to person since I was 5 years old, and it was going on way before I found out at 29 and put the puzzle pieces together. And isn't it interesting that mass groups run around trying to make someone look like they suffer from mental illness to force them into mental institutions and exterminate them? Now, because some people have the problem with the terminology gang stalking and pretend that everything in life is literal, well, community harassment groups, corrupt people with power like Jennifer Pilchick-Perlman, who lost against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, her court reporter father Jay Pilchick, the Van Nuys court reporter Debbie Woolman, purchasing the property adjoining my wall, nobody ever living in it, what's going on there for 20 years, and so many other things to label people, and categorize them, which is highly illegal. The same thing Adolf Hitler did. Well, I'm going to label you with mental illness. I'm going to say that I think this person is the next Vegas shooter or something, and have everyone in a mass neighborhood watch vigilante group known as gang stalking, cause stalking, community harassment group, whistleblower, killers, whatever, have a problem with breathing and living because they don't like or trust them. What does that mean? Well, it pretty much means that if you have too much hair on your arm, you can be categorized as someone that might go out and commit a crime, therefore they have the right to kill you. Kevin Perlman here was labeled at 5 years old with the psychology community. We think this, we think that, we don't trust you, you don't have the right to live or breathe. Wait, doesn't the Constitution of the United States say that you're a free man until? A free man until. Okay, so while I have groups of people following me around trying to get me to commit crimes, trying to tell me to commit crimes over and over and over and over, and I say, look, just admit to the situation. What situation? I don't know you. Okay, now back to 1977. Kevin Perlman at 5 years old. Ron Perlman showing him the movie Ralph Bakshi, telling the movie Wizards by Ralph Bakshi, telling the world in his little secret kill Kevin operations with several corrupt police officers paid off. Oh, poor me, my life's in danger for my son because he's off at University of Colorado getting a split degree in computer science and electronic media while paying off people and sending women after me and contacting college professors and trying to make me look like I'm a violent paranoid schizo, or ripping apart all my artwork with Professor Jim Johnson at University of Colorado. Oh, because Kevin made a did a composite of Mike Tyson fighting a game character katana. Kevin thinks he's a black guy. Kevin thinks he's a black guy who's a violent paranoid schizo, and women aren't safe from him because he's a woman beater, with my father's own weird words to me that artists are tortured people. I've heard some rare select incidences. I mean, why doesn't he just say that all black people? He might as well say all black people are murderers And he probably has. Because why is he mad at me for kissing a black girl when I was 8 years old? And why is he telling the world I'm a white supremacist for kissing a black girl when I was 8 years old? Doesn't that say I'm the opposite of what he says? Okay. So, what am I being labeled? Well, I have hair in my arms. I'm different. Kevin's different. Oh, and some of his wording is Kevin thinks differently. So I'm sure he's running around. Kevin thinks differently, whatever that remotely means. So, oh, poor me, I'm in danger of Kevin. Right? Isn't that what that means? Because the guy is throwing me in jail and has every resource on the planet to exterminate me while he goes out and pays off the LAPD to put bullet holes in his 300E Mercedes and say I tried to kill or scare him, or he tells my so-called friend who was in the police academy, Paul Humphrey, to ask me to see his 357, which he had in a lockbox, and I said, Paul is in a lockbox. Okay? Now he's paying off before he's paying off people like Victoria Walker at 30 years old to give me a toy dart gun a toy teensy pointless. It doesn't do anything. They fall to the ground and say, oh, poor me, Kevin has a gun. So much so that he tells me, hey, Kevin, can my friend Maria, my girlfriend that I was dating, Maria Elena, clean your house? Maria Elena, clean your house. Maria Elena, clean your house because she needs money. I mean, he wants his ex-girlfriend to clean my house. That's kind of weird, right? Okay, sure, I'll help you out. Oh, Kevin. Maria Elena said she saw a gun. Well, Dad, that's the toy gun that Victoria gave to me in front of you at my 30th birthday at your house. It's not a gun. It's a toy. Now my father's paying off police, or he's paying off police in courtroom and people in the courts to use artwork, harmless artwork with toys, which he's also mad about my studio photography with women, and he's mad that I talked to a stripper at 14 that he paid Mike Huntley to introduce me to, named Melody, 14 to 16. And what's really going on here is his son talked to a stripper, Melody, and I'm a bad seed and I don't have the right to exist. And when he says, Kevin, my father says, Kevin, you know what you did. Well, he's trying to sort of plant the seed, make it look like, oh, poor me. Kevin, you know what you did. I refuse to sell you. We're throwing you in jail. We're having people in jail tell you to go out and commit crimes. And I flat out said, you know what, fuck you, get a life, whatever. And Mr. Orthopedic Surgeon is sort of trying to stage everything. Kevin's a bad guy. Kevin's, oh, poor me, I'm in danger of Kevin. Kevin just freaked out. And I'm trying to get away from the guy. And he has random strangers working on me, trying to sort of lure me back. Right? So, while people are throwing bottles at my car and destroying all my cars, I'm taking them to auto shops and nobody will fix them except for the guy that's kind of close to my father's office. So I'm sure my father, quite possibly, is now running around, oh, poor me, my life's in danger, rid my son of the world, whatever, right? I'm just speculating based on a daily 49-year history of a psychotic that tortures. First of all, he tortures animals. I mean, he puts shock collars on his dog, Rhoda. He locks Maggie in a cage. He reels me back from college in Colorado with Mike Huntley. Mike Huntley wants to start his internet host provider. Says, Kevin, I got some great office space on Ventura Boulevard. And everyone in the cities and states of every state, because I have proof from state to state all across the United States, is involved in trying to mentally batter me minute by minute, known as gang stalking, while the police try to make me look like a drug dealer and try to send wannabe drug dealers into my life to sort of drag my name through the mud, because he doesn't want me doing what I've been doing and starting companies to make money and all sorts of things like this. He's angry. He doesn't want his son going off and being independent because I share the same last name. And anything that doesn't involve orthopedic surgery, you're a bad guy and you don't have the right to exist, or I don't want to share the same last name, so you need to go to elsewhere. And where's elsewhere? Well, I guess it's somewhere off the planet Earth. Well, we kind of know that's possible, don't we? Okay. So, here we are. We got a father with my brother. My brother was told to go ballistic on me when he was 7. I was 5. Same tactics I see every day. Passive-aggressively, endlessly provoke Kevin, trying to get reactions. Oh, poor me. Oh, poor me. Kevin's a violent, paranoid schizo. Oh, poor me. Kevin's a bully. Kevin's this. Kevin's that. Seymour Amster, my ex-defense attorney. You're a genius. You figured this out. This is about mental illness. How is it about mental illness? What gives someone the right to hurt someone? What gives someone the right to hurt someone else? Because they have black skin? Because they're Jewish? Because of claims you think differently? Don't we all really think differently? That person likes to modify Volkswagens. Those guys like to build or buy Trans Ams and never modify them and whatever. Kevin likes to build hot rods or cool cars or unique things that have personality and are different, that people look at and go, this is like gorgeous, this is cool, right? That's different because Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman only buys a car to go from point A to point B. So Kevin is a car enthusiast, and Kevin likes to do cool shit with cars, which so many people on the planet like to do. But because Kevin thinks differently than Ronald Barry Perlman, Kevin's a danger to himself or others. Kevin talked to a stripper. Ronald Barry Perlman would never talk to a stripper. So Ronald Barry Perlman is a good person because all strippers are evil murderers. Well, why would all strippers, even porn stars, who are not doing anything illegal? Porn is perfectly legal. Stripping is perfectly legal. I'm not going to say that some of them don't blur the lines. But what I'm saying is that my father's personality is, well, that person thinks different than him, so they're a bad person and they don't have the right to exist. Okay, well, I got a lot of hair on my arms. And there's a lot of people that don't have much hair on their arms at all. So am I allowed to say they're not allowed to exist? Or are they allowed to say that I'm not allowed to exist? Or do we all live peacefully together in harmony? And if you can't understand the hair on my arm here is not mental illness. And even if the hair on my arm here was mental illness, even if, do you have the right to kill me? Some kid is born retarded. Do I have the right to force him into mental institutions? Why would I have the right to punish a kid that's born retarded? Okay? Some kid's born, whatever, he has a mole on his face. That's mental illness. And we don't accept you, and so you're not allowed to go out and live your own life. We're going to force you into mental illness on government mental illness watch lists and flag you for extermination. Well, I guess us people with mental illness are the inferior race. And the inferior race need to be gang-stalked and exterminated, made to look crazy. And, by the way, what is crazy? And forced into mental institutions or jail cells or killed or hobbled to death. I don't know, right? You use your imagination. You're different. You don't have a right to live. So what is mental illness? I mean, you can flip through your DSM book, your DSM 4, 5, or 3, or whatever the fuck, and what's it going to tell you? Well, it's going to tell you that someone that's hyperactive has ADHD. Well, maybe the guy's hyperactive because he just woke up one day with a lot of energy and fucking said, I got a really cool fucking idea, I'm going to make it happen. But the bigoted racist is going to say, well, he has mental illness, so he doesn't have the right to exist because it says here that he has mental illness in a book, so he needs to be put in a cage like Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman's dogs. Now, what the fuck did my father's dogs ever do to him? Okay. You get the idea. I got a cat. The fucking thing takes walks with me. It taught it on a leash how to take walks. It walks up, meow, take me out, take a walk. Everyone runs around. Kevin left his house. It's past 8 p.m. Kevin's crazy. Our lives are in danger. He has mental illness from some secret mental illness list. Okay, but what's this mental illness? Did I go out and live my life? Did I build cars? That maybe some nights I don't sleep from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m.? Maybe some nights I go to sleep at 2 a.m. Does it matter? Does it matter? Why if I don't go to sleep at 8 p.m. tonight? If I don't go to sleep at 8 p.m. tonight, why is everyone's life in danger? Especially stranger after stranger worldwide. And so much so that Mike Huntley is going to say, Kevin, come over to my house, show me the movie Fight Club, and then tell everyone to make me think I'm Tyler Durden or something like that. Well, that's pretty strange. Especially with my father showing me the movie Wizards at 5 years old and trying to say that I conform to media. My brother told to show me all these horror movies, then say I'm crazy and conform to media. Is that mental illness? Because why do horror movies exist anyways? I mean, if they didn't make money, if everyone didn't love them, nobody would watch them. I've never seen anything that said horror movies are illegal to watch. Have you? I've never seen anyone hunted to be killed because they watched the movie Nightmare on Elm Street or something. Have you? Well, actually, you probably have. And his name's Kevin Perlman. Because my mommy and daddy say that Kevin's too sensitive and conforms to media. But let's take one step back. Let's get past the mental illness labels. The mental illness labels. Let's jump back here. What's the driving force? You're crazy. You need to be wiped off. You need to go to elsewhere. You need to be wiped off the planet. What's driving that emotion? And I'm doing this on a cell phone, so I don't know how long this battery is going to last. What's the driving force? You're different. You scare me. You need to be rid of the world. You think, my father's claim, Kevin, you think differently. Weird comments to me that artists are tortured. Weird, all sorts of weird shit like this. Oh, and the biggest, you know what you did, but I refuse to tell you. And having his entire office with worldwide groups mob me to death, minute by minute, year after year. Oh, poor me, oh, poor me. Oh, all my girlfriends, oh, poor them. I haven't done anything to him or his girlfriends or anyone else. But he's paid off. Shit. Oh, my thing started recording. It did a stop and start. Okay, so he's paid off countless people to come into my life trying to make me look crazy. But let's of this fear. Let's call it fear. We got a father. We got a family. You suffer from mental illness, whatever that means, because that's a vague generalization. You suffer from mental illness. You scare me. Everyone on the planet's life is in danger. Whether you bite your nails. Okay, this isn't working out too well. My SD card is filling up here. Okay, what gives someone the right to label someone and execute them? And I could say it several ways. I could say judge them and execute them. And I'm not talking about judicial systems. I'm saying what gives someone the right to label someone, categorize them, and then execute them. And if you're going to use the argument, well, you're still breathing. I ripped you away from your home. I put you in a 10-foot by 10-foot box. And that's the rest of your life, but I didn't kill you, so it's okay. Or I have random people throwing rocks at your head every day of your life. But you're not dead, so it's okay, right? Well, what's the difference? Right? What's the difference? Okay? If people are told to follow you from place to place throwing rocks at your head because you're different, because your skin's black, because you're Jewish, and everyone looks around and says, well, it's okay because they're still breathing, is it okay? No, of course not. Actually, it's probably a lot worse. And then they try to cover it up and go, well, that person's crazy and they're too sensitive and they're imagining it. Okay, so what are we talking about? We're talking about people that try to make people look crazy and exterminate them or rid them of the world. Gang stalking, community harassment groups. If you want to be an anal retentive loon, I could say network terror cell stalkers that think they're better than you. Okay, but I think I was getting to my point. What's the driving force behind you're different, you scare me, you're not allowed to exist? Because I would like to think that I'm different than my father. I would like to think that I'm different than my mother. I would like to think I'm definitely different than my brother. As a matter of fact, when he's going out doing all those terrorist activities and trying to turn me into like Officer Hoyt or something, I would like to think that that's inconceivable in my brain. And I don't want to be like that. And when he's telling me, after I jump in the way of the crowbar, that he's going after my friend Greg Waugh with, and then he's telling me blood is thicker than water and I have to help him and shit like this, I'd like to think that I'm different than him, and I'd like to think that I have the right to live because I'm different than him, because that's not in me. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm a positive, I'm a happy-go-lucky, humorous, positive creator that likes art and likes building businesses and coming up and overcoming and creating new and ideas that make money and make everyone else money. And why my family's trying to make me look like a drug dealer with the police and government, I just don't know. All because I said I'm not going to help you hurt my friends and things like this because my brother was jealous. My brother was jealous, supposedly, that Greg Waugh, my brother was jealous because Greg Waugh, or Jen Yang, his girlfriend, cheated on him with my friend Greg Waugh when my brother went up to college. But of course, then I find out later on that Greg Waugh was working with my brother and Jen Yang, I guess, or I don't know if she knew, to try to make me look crazy and manipulate me with my brother to go after him, to say Kevin's fucking crazy and a schizo, or violent paranoid schizo, or something like that. Okay, but let's go back to the driving force. What drives someone to say that person is different and they don't have the right to live or exist or be in society? What is that driving force? And they can, well, I don't trust them because they think differently. I don't trust them because they have hair on their arms. I don't trust them because they have mental illness. Well, what is mental illness? Can you be specific what this mental illness is that everyone's so afraid of Kevin? What's this mental illness? Is it about hair? Is it about hair? Is it about hair? Too much hair? Too little hair? I don't know. I know several women that don't have eyebrows and they actually tattoo fake eyebrows on. I don't know that they're not being hunted. Are they being hunted? No? Okay. Well, there might be one, Janet Nordet. She went to jail for 3 years. My father's ex-wife that he wanted me to move back from Colorado and move to his house right when he married her for some reason. Okay, So, but what is the driving force behind Rob Rosencrantz, a kid in my neighborhood? His father disowned Rob Rosencrantz because he found out Rob Rosencrantz was gay. What is the driving force behind that kind of behavior? You're different. I don't think you sleep at night, so you're like Tyler Durden. I mean, that, you would laugh. If I went to a party sipping on beers with you and I said, I don't think that guy sleeps at night, you'd be like, dude, fucking get a life. Go fucking live your life. Okay, but the point is, what's the point I'm making? The driving force is fear of difference. Kevin's different than the Perlman family. Kevin doesn't like to hurt people. Kevin doesn't like to control people. Kevin's honest. Kevin's giving. Kevin's caring. Kevin only likes to date women that don't try to torture, control, and abuse him. Kevin likes to date women that he's attracted to and not like the ugliest person that he can't. Let's not even say ugly. Let's say I look at you and there's no emotion. There's no physical attraction. Is that who I have to date, or I'm a shallow murderer? Okay, so in my life, everything's this way or that way. Okay. Kevin's different than Ron because Kevin doesn't understand that Ron Perlman's all about money, and if it comes in between money, human life isn't important. But in me, human life comes before money. And I'm not saying don't make money. I'm saying if there's a situation that arises that human life is before money, then human life is a priority. So why are people calling me boss, and my father and his co-workers, when he hired me for 14 years, trying to make me look like a crazy, violent, paranoid schizo, saying that I'm the boss and making hints about The Godfather and things like this? When I'm trying to say, look, this is unacceptable, and so much so that I put up a website, I'm not hurting anyone, I just have that First Amendment freedom of speech. Look what they're doing. They don't have the right to do this. Okay. But that's different than a psychotic murderer. So I don't have the right to exist because I'm different and I think differently. Okay, well, don't we all think differently? Isn't that guy's hobby tennis, and that guy's hobby cars, and that guy's hobby archery, and this guy's hobby building go-karts? I don't know. This guy's hobby might be knitting. I don't fucking know. Do I have the right to hurt someone because his hobby is knitting? Of course not. All I have the right to do is walk away. That's you see what I'm saying? Or not even walk away, just don't be part of it. Example, if I work in an office and I don't like or understand someone, I just keep my distance. I keep to myself and I keep it professional. Hey, like let's use George Escobar, the guy stalking me from place to place with Lorraine Escobar. George Escobar, who's running around trying to blackmail me and tell me that he has a friend that works in LAPD and they investigate people into kiddie porn and all sorts of weird things and try to intimidate me and blackmail me. Well, look, George, what do you need? You need me to fix your computer and this. I'm not going to talk to you on a personal basis, but we're going to keep it professional. But George doesn't believe that with the rest of everyone else in Golden State Sports Medical and everyone else that I've ever met, that you can't be around someone that you're not into. I don't know how to say it. You don't like, you're not into. It's this way or it's that way. So you need to pack up and move to an island and kill yourself. Well, why can't I work in a company and just keep it professional? Right? Isn't that the way it works with everyone worldwide? I mean, you tell me one person on this planet that works in an office and likes everyone. I guarantee you, if you get an honest answer, Every single person on this planet will say there's tons of people I don't like. And then you say, but are you following around stalking them and trying to fucking kill them or rid them of the world or get rid of them? No, of course not. Okay, so that's the difference. In my family, it's this way or that way. When someone says to me, Kevin, these people you're working with aren't your friends, what they really mean is they're your enemies. And that's different in my thought process. I don't understand that. Why can't I work in an office or hang out in a social group and just distance myself from people that don't understand me? Why does there have to be a war? Well, apparently there has to be a war because my father showed me the movie Wizards by Ralph Bakshi with secret Nazi armies with technology, and then runs around after I turned 5-year-old saying Kevin's a violent paranoid schizo, he needs to die. And then he runs around, oh poor me, if Kevin doesn't leave the planet, my life's in danger. Right? Now you're going to say, but what the fuck does one thing have to do with the other? Right? What does this have to do with that? Well, people are running around trying to manipulate me and hint that I need to go do this and I need to go do that and manipulate me and provoke me and try to piss me off all day. Why do I have to do anything that anyone tells me? As a matter of fact, anytime anything's based on manipulation, it's not for you. Okay? Anytime. Anyone that's honest will address you with a direct conversation about specifics. Example, my father, you know what you did? Well, Dad, what is this thing I did? There's a worldwide campaign to put me in the ground. I'm not going to tell you because when people can lie. So you're not an honest person. You don't actually have an argument. That's the underlying real truth. You can't tell someone you did something but I refuse to tell you, because what that really means is I'm just trying to justify my behaviors of doing what they want to do and make you think that you deserve it. And the reality of the situation is you never deserve it for any reason. Okay? So while my father's running around saying I'm a thief and a criminal and a murderer and a manipulating person, he's running around with everyone else and my brother and my family with their psychology degrees trying to control and create situations on a fictional level and take things out of context on these worldwide propaganda against me. Because the reality is that any situation that you address has to be based on facts, logic, and everything. And if you make things the story you want them to be and then give it out to a planet, then it's your own little fictional story in a delusional world of bullshit. And if the guy says what's going on, well, you know what you did, but you're not allowed to defend yourself, not even on a verbal argument. And if you tell someone, you're a bad guy. You're a liar and you're a bad guy, and now you suffer the liar crime, and now you need to die. Well, that's control. That's the same control that Adolf Hitler did. Okay? You're not allowed to read books. You're not allowed to read books. Why am I not allowed to read books? And I'm not talking from a schizo standpoint. I'm talking as if I was a Jew in the 40s. Why were they not allowed? Why were Jews not allowed to educate themselves? Well, because if Jews that are told they're the inferior race and bad people and don't have the right to exist, or anyone for that matter, read books, then they get smart enough to understand that what Adolf Hitler is doing wrong, and history shows that tyrants and mass genocide murderers have all done the same thing, or something on that level, and they think for themselves. Now, my entire family have psychology degrees. I want you to do the math. So what are we talking about on this? Hey, it's just about control. There's no such thing. If I have a son or I have a girlfriend and I want to control her, so every time she goes to get coffee with her friend, she comes home and I whip her to inflict pain. Well, I didn't do anything to you because it's about control, right? Well, no, you fucking battered her and you inflicted pain. And pain does not matter if someone's whipping you or they're having people walk by you 100 times a day and whistle at you for the crime of talking to a stripper or asking a stripper out or building adult websites or getting into studio photography with models and promoting your artwork and trying to make money or not trying to make money. And you come home and then you're whipped or mentally whipped. Well, the person didn't do anything wrong, right? Because his emotional blackmail, which they're so mad at me about reading that book for figuring things out, that emotional blackmail is not wrong because it's about control, right? I mean, I've been told by some serious psychotics that, well, because they didn't touch you, it's not a crime. What? Well, someone throwing a rock at someone's head, they didn't touch you, it's not a crime. Or someone putting poison in food, they didn't touch you, it's not a crime. But a crime is not about touching. A crime is about intent in doing horrible things. Okay, so anyways, I'm about to turn this off. But the point I wanted to make is that Kevin Perlman is being hunted apparently because he's different. Well, am I different? Oh, and I'm on like worldwide level mental illness watch list, which is the biggest crime of everything. But what's the crime at 5 years old and it was flagged for extermination or eradication at 5 years old? Did I find out at 29 while sitting in my office at Signet eServices, an internet host provider, with Mike Huntley telling me I'm a fucking dead man? Originally my brother's friend. He and his friends are going to put me in a mental institution with my family or my father. Okay. And it's worldwide. But the driving force is fear of difference. And really, am I that different? I mean, do you see fire shooting out of my eyes or laser beams? Or do I have like 5 heads or 7 arms? And when I walk out of my house, do I like bite your head off like Venom? Okay, I mean, let's try to get grounded here. Is Kevin different? Okay, sure, I'll say I'm different. If you want to, is Kevin different? Sure, I'm different. I'm artistic and expressive, and I come up with unique, original ideas that people haven't done. And my family gets mad, and everyone gets mad that Kevin might go out and make money and do some really cool shit. When I do cars, I do them original and different, and I don't want, like, to buy a car off a dealer lot and to be the same as everyone else's. Is that really so different? I mean, when I go to SEMA car shows, it's a bunch of creative people building $500,000 cars, and nobody's running around going, you're different because your car doesn't go from point A to point B. Okay, so what are we really talking about here? Fear of difference. And so much so that Kevin's not allowed to exist in society because I'm different. But really, how am I that different? I date women until I found out they were all contacted to try to make me look crazy and eradicated. I'm not going to tell you I was planning on having a family because I didn't get to that point. Kevin, you want kids? Well, I don't know. Maybe if I meet the right person and I feel comfortable having kids with them. Now I really probably don't. After what I've been through and bringing a child into a world, him finding out what's been done to his father. Does that make sense? Like, his finding out that his father's a government target. Okay, so I like women, but then people get mad because they want to try to make me gay. I mean, I have all sorts of situations from University of Colorado. We're going to send a gay guy in your house, and because you didn't ask him out, you're a homophobe, and you need to be hunted and killed because you're a white supremacist. I'm a white supremacist because I didn't ask out a gay guy? Well, he felt uncomfortable. Well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to ram him up the butt because he needs to feel comfortable or he's going to kill me? Okay? So how is Kevin so different? Because Kevin's like Hugh Hefner, right? And Hugh Hefner is an evil guy and needs to be tortured and killed, right? Well, that's strange because didn't he have like mansion parties for like 50 years and everyone loved the fucking guy, right? Okay, so whatever, we can analyze that till the cows come home. But the point I'm making here is because Kevin has been labeled and categorized and put on some kind of secret mental illness watch list at 5 years old, and my father's running around, I'm going to try to make Kevin look crazy and like he's a violent paranoid schizo and conforms to the media with the rest of my family, and they don't stop no matter how much I prove them wrong, showing that it's really about one thing: hate. I hate you, I don't accept you, you don't have a right to live, and I'm not just talking about my father, I'm talking about these government watch lists of hate. They're hate lists, okay? They're the same thing that Adolf Hitler did. The same thing. Jews are the inferior race, or minorities are the inferior race. We're better than them. They're different. I'm afraid of Jews. I'm afraid of minorities. They think differently. I don't understand them. They don't have a right to live. Okay? Well, like I said, if Kevin Perlman doesn't have a right to live because he's different or needs to be locked in a mental institution or jail cell or some kind of cage or extradited from the planet, because Kevin, if people don't like you, just move off the planet, right? Go to elsewhere, because this is worldwide. Well, what are you asking me to do here? Because I'm not going to agree to it. Okay. So, hate, rage. Kevin's different. Kevin turns 5 years old. Kevin's different. By the way, how can you even analyze a 5-year-old? Because they're not even developed. I mean, maybe if you want to sort of try to analyze I don't know. I mean, it's not even in my head. A 25-year-old, a 40-year-old, what's the difference? You shouldn't be analyzing anyone. You shouldn't be ripping apart people's lives and saying you're not a good person because you dated that person and they got silicone implants. You dated that person and they drive a Corvette. They're a bad person. You dated that person and they slept with 15 guys. You don't have a right to live, or they don't have a right to live. You're different because you're part of a swinger club. That's not normal, right? Swinger clubs aren't normal. You're different. You don't have a right to live. Whatever. We can go back to the old gay one. You're gay. You don't have a right to live. Okay, so when my family rips into me at 5 years old, do whatever to try to set him up and frame him and make him look crazy, keep showing him movies, trying to make him look like a violent paranoid schizo who conforms to movie. Jason keeps showing Kevin horror movies, say Kevin's crazy because he watches horror movies. What? I mean, what, right? What? Okay. And yet, then everyone goes home and they put on a horror movie, or I don't even give a shit if it's Bridges Over Madison County, because that shit'll make you really crazy. Let me fucking tell you. Okay, so, I think you get my point here, that the underlying emotion is fear of difference, and how dare someone label Kevin Perlman at 5 years old? He's different, and we're going to do whatever it takes with billions of dollars to execute him, and then say, oh, poor us, we're all in danger of him. And I'm just walking around going, I can't believe I'm seeing this. Like, I'm welcoming you with open arms. Let's do this, let's do that, let's hang out. Oh, you said the phrase hang out. My life's in danger. And I'm a fucking violent paranoid schizo? Okay. But remember one thing. If someone's mad at me for dating women, someone's mad at me for being heterosexual, someone's mad at me when they go around and sabotage my life, telling me I'm not allowed to have... Oh, I'm still recording. If someone goes around and sabotages my life saying, Kevin, you're not allowed... I'm going to sabotage all your relationships and have these women go ballistic on you, or men, or whatever, and then say, well, Kevin's crazy because he's a sociopath. Well, why am I being punished? Why am I being punished? Isn't that what this really is? I'm being punished starting at 5 years old. Why am I being punished for being different. Why am I being punished if I ask out a stripper? Well, strippers could be shady. Well, yeah, but so could doctors and lawyers. And why am I being punished for having a slow learning process? Actually, I was an extremely slow learner, like at some things. Okay, so I'm totally out of phone space here, so I gotta end it. Why am I being punished? I was like a 2.8 student, high school, college, below average SAT scores. My brother drank beers, get 4.0s, go to med school, get a secondary kill psychology degree, so he can label and exterminate with psychological warfare, whatever, which are Adolf. They came from Adolf Hitler, but they trickled down to some really fucked up power groups. And I'm not talking just KKK. I'm talking United States organizations with Jennifer Pilchik Perlman, who just lost against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, 21, my sister-in-law. Okay, why am I being punished for not being as smart as my brother and then being told that I hate my brother or something when I'm the victim? Why am I told I'm not allowed to be the victim? What are they trying to manipulate me into? Example, if you're maybe, let's say you're a woman and someone keeps raping you and they say, don't go to the police and be the victim. So you just sit there and take it forever. But what are they trying to do? They're trying to get you to go ballistic and like kill the guy, right? Okay. And then throw you in jail for murder or something like that. Who knows? I'm just speculating or coming up with motives behind those types of manipulations. Okay. And if they're with intent becomes a manipulation. Okay. So why is Kevin being punished for being different at 5 years old? Whatever my father's theory is, his delusions, his theories, why am I not allowed to discuss with him his insecurities? Have you ever walked up to Adolf Hitler and talked about the insecurities? You know, Adolf, we're Jewish and we're just like you and we're really not that different. We have a different background, but we're really the same. We're human beings with 2 arms and 2 legs. And so, Adolf, can you just chill out? And boom. Right? Okay. Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman. You know what you did? Underlying message, like just die or go to elsewhere. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to let you know. Oh, poor me. I'm in danger of Kevin. Oh, poor me. We're all in danger. Someone put Kevin in a cage. Look, I'm fucking like asking, right? Like, what's your delusion here? Can we talk? No, we can't. Okay, so obviously I disown my father. I don't talk to my father. But I'm watching people try to manipulate me over and over to like go after him and things like that. And then they sort of play the schizo game that it has something to do with Necron 99 and Wizards. But ironically, where do my artistic ideas come from? And it has nothing to do with being tortured, because I used to sketch Black Wolf and before 29 and things like that. Before I knew, it's a really good movie. Okay, before I stop this, it's a really fucking good movie if someone's not trying to make it look like you conform to media. Okay? So if you want to go out and watch 1977 Wizards by Ralph Bakshi, it's a great movie, and Ralph Bakshi was actually all about civil rights. It's a great fucking movie. Now, if someone's trying to make you show you... Okay, so now if every time you watch media or people show you media and then they try to make you look crazy, it's no longer fun to watch media. Whatever, my SD card's gone, it's filled.